And welcome to this evening's episode of Tal'Dorei D&D. Yes, we have the whole party here today as well, which is great, as we did last week. Which is, I think, the first time in quite a few weeks where we've had everyone for 2 times. So, who would like to actually give a summary before we start of what happened last session?
Me.
As the bard, I feel this is my job.
Right, well, you give generally untruthful accounts, so I'm going to say potentially not the bard.
Colourful account.
What?
Let's go with, going from the top of my Discord, let's go with Xander for this week.
Let's not.
Yes. So, a new mysterious person has joined us who knocked out the rogue for being a suspicious shifty rogue who's totally just a barmaid.
Mm-hmm.
We finished killing all the magmins going through the city. Anma and myself got knocked out, and in the process, I pissed myself.
Yeah.
See, you guys can't use it against me if I use it first, so screw you.
We have a new bird friend as well.
Oh yeah, and we all hit 3rd level, so Kathy Ranger has got her companion, and the rest of us can do mystical, magical things.
Or, just slightly better
Mystical,
acrobatics
magical.
and dexterous things and stuff like that. Yes. Some of you have mystical, magical things. Okay, yes. So, starting with the main group then, and then coming to Caliph after, there is a lull as the Magmins are vanquished and the fires are quelled, and you all take a look around, some of you feeling rather worse for wear, shall we say, compared to the others. Who would like to quickly roll perception out of the party, not including Shane's character?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
Same.
Now, when you say quickly, give me a sec.
I spot everything.
Shh. Where is perception? I spot perception. Oh.
No, you don't.
Apparently, I see nothing.
The sky is blue.
An excellent start. Oh, dang. Where were those last time?
Cat, you're in a tree. Maybe.
I have a damn bird as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, Iris, you've got a almost mastiff-sized eagle that is just perched on the walkway in front of you and Alassa, and it's kind of cocking its head, looking in between the two of you, and it's rather taken your attention.
Have I even noticed that there's a bird here?
No, you're on the wrong side of the building to notice that.
Okay.
Can I sit on the bird and take it up, or is it still a bit skittish?
It's tiny. Like, it's the size of a mastiff. You would not be able to...
Mastiff.
Like, mastiff is probably the size of a Labrador, I would say. Or, like, around that kind of size.
But not a labradoodle.
No.
Definitely not a labradoodle.
Is there such thing as a Labradorshund?
Labrador.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Not sure.
Sausage
Anyway.
Labrador.
I know there are Springadors, and Springador is an excellent name. Anywho,
beautiful.
so Anma and Corwin, you both spot the individual garbed in white who is currently like 1 or 2 trees over, but well within your sight. The fact that he is garbed wholly in this one colour makes him rather stand out, shall we say. His hair also is snowy white, and he seems to be walking with a staff of some description.
How old is he? Does he look?
You would guess with your perception check, like, he looks going towards maybe, well, what would you say, Shane? How old is your character?
I probably look quite a bit older than I actually am because of the white hair and stuff.
Because you'd look like a. I was wondering if you'd look kind of like someone from the city, like an elder or something.
Oh, like,
Or
are
is
you
he a bit too young
so
for
you're
that?
trying to work out whether he looks like someone from the temple?
Yeah. He's
no,
obviously,
we-
like an important figure because what he's wearing is quite strange.
Yeah, is it a uniform that we might recognise?
No, we did mention this last time. He's wearing robes that are of a heavier material than the individuals from the temple, like Nimlissa, who you met previously.
So with my perception, could I kind of think maybe he's not actually from this place? He's kind of a visitor as well, or
I would say that is more to do with insight than perception.
can I make an insight?
You can. Also, the balance between you and TV in the background is still completely off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just heard your TV say Brexit.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
That's quite insightful, really.
Yeah, you would guess he doesn't seem to be from around here. He doesn't seem quite as confident when he's making his way around the walkways and kind of dodging through all of the people because it is now
That's
quite
sensible.
busy.
Is he moving suspiciously?
No. He seems to have arrived purposefully. You would have spotted him just taking care of one of the last groups of fires that he quenched.
Okay, so we've seen him actively helping the city, so there's no reason to think he's involved. Cool. That's
I
fine.
put out the fires and killed the demons that you guys couldn't hit.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I was busy dying. Actually, that's fine. Am I actually conscious again after that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were both brought back up.
We need a long rest.
I saved you.
Can I discern anything about him from where I'm stood?
You would probably be noticing the same things. Like I said, quite heavy garb. This is saying if the other two point him out to you. If not, you wouldn't notice him.
That's cool.
Well, I guess I'll try and make sure the fires are put out and kind of help out with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the round to make sure the rest of the party are okay, and then like make sure that villagers and all that are right. See if there's anything we can do in helping putting the city back to rights.
Okay, sure. So you take a look around. Was someone
And
about...
me and the elves and the flying white things going to the pub now.
Not yet.
Yeah,
Why
I was about to say, well, Lala doesn't seem entirely inclined to head to the pub just yet. She is, at this point, doing a quick circle of all the buildings that were on fire and just ensuring that there are no casualties, no people injured.
Damn it, I wanted to beat the barmaid there.
Are you going to try and persuade Lala to go to the pub?
Yes, I am!
I will shoot you! No, I
Where
won't.
is my persuasion? There it
There we
is.
go.
I was quite persuasive.
Okay, what are you going to say to try and persuade her?
Hey, earlier didn't the other elf say that the last one there had to buy a round?
She looks back at you an eyebrow slightly raised and says, "No, that isn't what we discussed.
I thought there was a race.
There
Plus,
was
I think I'm already there.
Shut
a
up,
race,
barmaid.
however, you were not involved in said race.
Well, as long as I don't have to buy a round, I suppose that's fine.
You do not.
Great. Shall we go to the bar and let him buy one?
You don't have much civic duty, do you?
This isn't going my way.
It rarely
Thought
does.
I had rolled quite a high persuasion here.
My character sheet is doing things. This is weird.
Sorry, you get your charisma mod. Sorry, just messaged me, so I'm just quickly trying to do that. Charisma mod, which
I can't
is-
think of a very persuasive argument right now.
That's fair. To be fair, you would have had to have rolled incredibly high to actually beat her into... Oh, or persuade her into abandoning her people.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yes, she seems disinclined to listen, and after a little while, her and Beauty eventually kind of land on one of the walkways where a few of the people have made space, and they both, well, she dismounts and starts helping individuals out and stuff like that. She
I
almost seems to be
suppose-
ignoring you at this point.
I suppose I will eventually awkwardly dismount.
Okay, if you're being awkward about it, roll dex, please.
I'll stay here!
It's too late. You've committed.
No, I'll stay here! I changed my mind!
Nope. Roll dex. Okay, you observed how she dismounted, and after a pause, you are able to copy. You've suddenly gone very robotic. Ooh, all of you have, on my end. One second, we are having issues with Discord.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear
There
us
we
now?
go!
That's
I
better.
disconnected and reconnected and I'm back.
Yeah, everyone was a robot for me as well.
Yeah.
Yay.
You okay now? You good?
That was fun. Sorry, and sorry, Sephiroth and everyone else who's actually in the stream chat there on Twitch.
So I successfully dismounted anyway.
Yes, you did. You, like I said, you copy Lala slightly more cautiously, but you kind of figure out how to use the wing joints to dismount, and you also notice that there's a certain bit on the saddle that seems specifically designed to kind of push your leg into it against her belly, Beauty's belly, and then dismount fully, because she is not exactly a small creature.
So whereabouts am I standing now?
So you are on the walkway directly to the side of you here.
Okay, so who can I see anyone at all? No, not really. They're all on the other side.
Yeah, it would be pretty difficult to spot them, but you know that they were in that direction from when you were falling, so you can make your way over.
I will make my way around.
Okay,
Carefully.
excellent. Move
No jumping off rooftops.
No jumping off rooftops.
Okay.
Okay, so as everybody else is kind of looking around and trying to figure out if all the fires are indeed put out, which you quickly realise, yes, they are. You also do notice, like I said, a couple of townspeople have sustained mostly just minor burns, stuff like that. A few of them are a bit bruised from when people have pushed past them in a hurry to try and get buckets of water over to where was needed. But no, there are no serious injuries. In fact, you guys probably sustained the worst injuries, having actually fought the creatures.
I want to ask Lala for a packet of plasters.
You ask Lala for
I
a
just
bucket.
fought a crazy old man, and I got
Yes,
more injured than anyone.
We had demons exploding on us.
She kind of looks at you as you approach her and ask for plasters, and says, "Plasters? Sorry, is this something from where you you hail from?
Oh, it probably is. I'm very sorry. Bandages.
Bandages. I personally don't have any on me. I'm just escorting people to where we have some. Were you hoping to acquire some yourself?
I wanted to help.
Are you trained in healing, are you?
Not at all. That's why I thought this was the safest option for me.
Just like cover people in bandages like a mummy.
As you say that, one of her eyebrows twitches and you notice a very, very small smile just quickly get quashed as she attempts to school her faces back into a look of some seriousness appropriate to the situation. And she gives you a small nod and says, "Well, if you're not trained in the healing arts, perhaps you wouldn't mind helping me escort people?"
Yes, okay. I can probably escort people.
Excellent. And she essentially starts using you as someone who's probably slightly taller than her. She's kind of using you as someone to muscle their way through the crowds, and also just to ensure that people can actually spot where you're going as well.
I'm enjoying this very much.
Yes, exactly.
People are looking at me and doing what I tell them to. This is up my street. This is the kind of helping I could really get behind.
Excellent.
Can I don't know if it's my turn yet. I can't remember. Can I chat to my friend next to me? I forget his name. The lovely elfin boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And just ask him for, like, tips on... Because obviously he's reared his lovely wyvern. I remembered what it was called then.
Scream.
I want to ask him for bird tips. Can I ask him for ask him for bird tips?
He scratches his head and then kind of goes, "Wait, one second. I know I have." And starts fumbling around and eventually produces from one of his pouches a piece of parchment and a quill, and instantly just starts writing a huge long list of care tips for you. And like every so often he'll kind of slow down and then just go, I think that too. And it seems like he's generally incredibly enthusiastic over the idea of, giving someone tips on how to take care of creatures that he likes.
That's adorable.
Excellent, I'm glad I asked.
Yes, Ratharin, what are you up to, as you're the only person in this group who isn't really doing much at the moment?
Apparently watching a bunch of bumbling buffoons.
Sure.
I don't like him.
I'm just sort of gonna wait where I am for now and wait for them to come over to where I am.
We're not that interested in you.
Which has nothing to do with the fact that I'm still trying to sort out a good place for me to place my laptop.
Okay, sure. So the group of you are... Oh god. Sephiroth, it's fine. He will probably get screwed by the party. The party will probably get screwed by him. And everyone will get screwed by me. Anyway.
Kinky.
Woo!
What have I signed up for?
So that's the road we're going down.
Apparently so.
There's a reason I
Apparently
chose
the
the road.
midnight edition of D&D.
Wow.
What was the dwarven nudes stuff comic in our other campaign? Was it Satin
Something like the
Seduction or
coal shaft, I think.
Yes, the coal shafts, the satin seduction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically what we're saying is when we all agreed to play Dungeons and Dragons, we all had the wrong idea of what kind of dungeon it was, right?
Yes.
Sure.
I knew.
Well, yes.
Dungeons and dominatrixes.
You did used to have a slave called Pillow, Heather.
I did.
Yeah.
Say what now?
Anyway, moving swiftly on then. So there's kind of a general divide in the party here. So Ratharan, you're just hanging out waiting for them to talk to you.
Yeah.
Cohen, Anma, you're just focused on helping the city folk. Iris, you're talking away to Alassa as this small giant eagle stares up at you, still not entirely certain what the hell is going on, but it seems incredibly curious. And Taram, you are helping Lala ferry injured casualties around. So, coming then to
Well.
Kalis, you are now walking, I believe, through the city.
I think I'm now at the pub, am I not?
Yes, I'd say by this point you will have reached the tavern.
Yay!
It has
I
only
enter the
taken
pub.
2 sessions. Okay.
Oh, D&D, where
Yes,
5-minute
they are
combat
bees.
takes 5
Walk loose
hours,
to the ceiling
and a
and
5-hour
have
walk
a
takes
ceiling
5 minutes.
Okay, so entering the tavern then. What are you looking for? Anything in particular? What are you?
I'm looking for that old man. That was the reason why we went to grab this box in the first place.
Okay, so you're
And
looking
before
for
he's not
Renat.
there.
Yeah, so when you enter the tavern then, you take a look around. Roll perception, please.
That's not very good.
Yeah, so because of the artisans fair that actually took place the previous day whilst you were all out in the forest, the tavern is bustling. It's still kind of mid-morning, getting towards midday, so there are lots of people having a late lunch or early lunch, late breakfast, brunch type meal. And it's quite difficult to spot people as you're just taking a general glance around.
Okay, well, I'm going to take the box and I'm going to head back behind the bar and find somewhere to keep it until the old man shows up.
Okay, sure. 1 second.
And tell the landlord that I'm back.
Okay, so you're looking for Galeth. Okay, so you head behind the bar then. There are a couple of rooms in behind. Mostly you've got the kitchen, you've got, for instance, where all the booze is generally kept. And you kind of poke your head into the various rooms and spot Galeth, and he's sat in what is his office and is generally trying to, by the looks of it, go through some of the books. Now that you...
Hey, boss. Made it back.
Ah, you've returned. Welcome back. Could have actually used you yesterday, I have to say. But we managed.
Well, I need to put this box somewhere safe until I can find the guy that we went to get it for. And then I'll jump on.
looking for Renan?
That's him.
I believe he's still in his room. He found it a bit too busy this past day. He's not quite used to the bustle of the city.
Okay, well, I'll take this straight up to him then, and then I'll come down and get changed.
Excellent, excellent. And he seems fairly distracted. He's already refocusing on his books as you hover in the doorway about to leave.
Oh, I head to the room.
Okay. So you were told which room he was in previously, I believe, and you make your way there, and I'm guessing knock on the door?
Yep.
Okay, after a couple of minutes, you hear slow movement, and the druid individual opens the door.
I believe we have your box.
You actually found it. Excellent, excellent. And he reaches out one of his hands. You notice he is still quite heavily bandaged around his shoulders and general upper torso area.
I'll take the box into the room and put it down for him to be able to.
Okay. He follows you in, moving stiffly, but seems generally better than when you actually first met him. And he approaches where you put down the box, and he instantly puts a hand over it and just goes, the seal is still intact. This is good.
Well, we thought when I saw it was your box, I thought they need to open that. Let's get it back.
Yes, it's incredibly valuable. You have my thanks.
Great.
As you kind of say that, he kind of notices that you're acting somewhat awkwardly and just goes, yes, of course. Payment, I imagine. Yes?
Well, I'm sure there was talk of a reward.
Yes, indeed. I've been discussing it with my fellow members of the circle, and he makes his way over to a small pouch that he was carrying previously. You didn't really pay it much mind, and he pulls out 5 small vials, which he then brings over to you and says, we don't have much by way of money, however, these we generally sell when we come into the city. We had agreed that we would give you some when you returned. They are healing poultices that we have crafted ourselves.
Rubbish! Keep the box!
I need those.
And
One shiny gold.
he hands you the 5 vials. He then moves to sit in the chair and then looks over towards you and says, there is one more thing we can offer.
And that is?
Well, we were discussing and we thought you are clearly an adventurer of some kind, and we were hoping to be able to aid you in whatever path you have chosen. So, and he pauses and seems to be focusing not fully on you, he seems to be listening to something that only he can hear, and he just says, my circle and I are able to, through our combined powers, conduct various rituals, cast various spells that prove handy to adventurers such as yourselves. Is there anything in particular or anyone in particular you are hoping to find, or any items you might be looking to acquire?
I think the colour probably drains out of Kayla's face at this. Yes, there are people that I've been trying to find.
It takes him a few moments to actually realise how discomforted you are by that. And after noticing, he nods and says, "It is the way of life to lose, but also to find again in some lucky circumstances. If you were to return at some point with me to my circle, unfortunately we would not be able to go now. I'm not nearly recovered enough, but we would be able to attempt to find these people you're searching for."
That would be, yeah, and yes, I will. I better get down and work. The bar's pretty busy, but I will return this evening.
Perhaps not this evening. It's not safe to travel at night, but maybe either tomorrow morning or the day after that, depending on how my health is. And he gives a rueful laugh and says, "I am not exactly in the best years of my life anymore to travel so quickly after so grievous an injury."
Oh, of course. It's a case of you'd have to track rather than know the location of.
For the people you're searching for, we would need to conduct a spell, but my circle are some days away from here, so we'd have to travel to them.
Of course, sorry. Pardon my confusion.
That's quite okay, dear.
Anyway, I should allow you to continue resting and, get back to the work I've been avoiding for the past couple of days.
He gives a light laugh and then just says, "Yes, it's been rather manic here these past few days. I think next year I'm going to let some of the younger blood of our circle come instead of..."
Maybe having an escort for that box of yours might be worth an idea as well.
Yes, I rather suspect the goblins didn't understand its true worth, considering, well, they have attempted to pry it open, but have been unsuccessful.
Well, that's goblins for you.
It's also unlikely that they would have magical means of opening such a thing.
Of course.
We
Well,
take certain precautions.
Yes. Well, I should return to the bar and allow you to rest. But as soon as you're ready, let me know.
As you say rest, he gives a small rueful laugh and just says, "Well, now that this is back, unfortunately rest is not going to be on the table for me. Well, it was rather for auctioning this that I came here." And he hefts himself back up out of the chair and goes to pick up the box and makes his way out with you, seemingly looking to exit the tavern and go to a location. You're actually not sure where this auction is going to be taking place, even though you have been living in the city for a few weeks now. It's not something you're familiar with, the idea of auction houses here, so it's a bit unusual. But yeah, he heads out with you.
I probably asked him if he needs any help.
He smiles at you and says, A shoulder wouldn't be amiss. Thank you, dear.
I'll help him out.
Okay, and he does lean on you rather heavily as you make your way down into the main area of the tavern. He is...
I don't feel it.
You don't feel it. It would be more a strength check, but sure, I think you're...
Oh, sorry, wrong one. Well, it's the same roll anyway.
Yeah, it's the same roll, so I'll say we can take that one. If it's a different modifier, re-roll it, but if it isn't, then it's fine. Okay, 1 second. I've just had a message from Kat asking, should I roll animal handling? Is that Ari the eagle, or is that Ari jokes in Discord?
No, it's genuinely regarding Pharaoh.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll say I'm going to head back to you guys now that we've gotten that bit sorted anyway. But yeah, so he...
2 weeks that was waiting for. 2 weeks!
It was worth it though, wasn't
Worth
it?
Healing potions. My god, healing potions.
Yes. So make a note of those. You get 5 healing potions and 1 second. So each one heals 1d8 plus 5. They aren't actual healing potions that you've seen before. They are poultices that the druids have crafted, so not quite like what you would see in most shops.
1d8 plus 5.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you make your way down, and he's moving stiffly, so it does take you a little while, even though I'm sure you're quite anxious to... Well... How should I put it? You're probably quite anxious to have a moment to yourself to deal with what he has just offered.
Yeah.
Anyway, while we're leaving you to emotionally deal with that, we will head back to...
Hi.
We will let you deal with that and return to the other group then. So, yes, Kat, you messaged saying, should I roll animal handling for Pharaoh? If you would like to,
Yep.
What kind of things are you doing to befriend him or her?
Well, no, I'm kind of like you do with dogs. You kind of put your hand out and let them sort of come to you and investigate you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to do that and then like maybe pet it and see what it did.
Okay, sure.
What he did, even. Sorry, it's not an...
Okay, roll... Ooh, okay, excellent. Yeah, so as I mentioned last session, you seem to have retained, like, a little bit of Alasse's scent on you from when you gave him a very, very strong hug that first time you met.
Excellent.
Like, well, let's put it this way. Alasse is incredibly clean and he's focused on cleanliness, so he has various oils that he rubs into his levers, and those oils seem to have essentially transferred slightly. And the eagle seems to have noticed this. So as you approach, it kind of cocks its head again and gives a kind of soft scream. And eventually you get it so it's kind of butting its head up against your hand, almost like a cat would, and is generally quite happy to be close to you. It's a bit intimidating, like, even from being from the Zephyr tribe, you haven't interacted that much with animals that will grow to be the size of a giant eagle, and also with wild birds in general, and yeah, you're kind of looking at it and just fighting the instinct to flinch every time its beak kind of comes towards your hand with any speed, thinking, oh god, is it going to actually bite me? But you're able to overcome that and slowly start to work towards interacting with Pharaoh.
So it is not the burden, it needs to learn trust.
Yeah. It is going to be a partnership after all.
Yay!
Okay, so whilst you're befriending Pharaoh, Alassa is kind of now at this point crouched on the ground, just watching the two of you with a big grin on his face, having finished his list and given it to you. What is everybody else doing at this point?
Well, I'll probably be tending to the wounded and things, obviously, and then maybe seeing where Caleb went to.
Okay. So you spot when you start tending to the wounded, you spot what Lala and Taram are doing, and essentially you join them in ferrying the others around. They seem to be all being guided to one place in particular, which you realise probably isn't actually it isn't a hospital, it isn't a place of healing as such, but it's just being used for the present time. In fact, it actually looks like it's probably someone's house that they've just gone, okay, my house is no longer on fire, let's open this up so that everyone else can get treated.
Fair enough.
Like, you are still in the outer ring of the city after all, which is where a lot of the houses were. Or are even.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so how about well, Taram, are you still helping with this ferrying of people?
Yes, I am, Lucy.
Okay. Excellent. So as you're all you three are manoeuvring, then I assume, Corwin, you're also helping with the efforts?
Yeah, if we needed medical supplies or whatnot, or if people needed escorting to the medical tents, I'd be helping with that.
Okay, sure. So you three then, plus Raphorin, please roll another perception check at this point.
Me as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Nope, I see nothing.
Me neither.
I see the world.
Not quite. You needed a nat 20 for that.
I know, but it's good enough. I've only got a +1, so.
True. You're not particularly perceptive. Okay, so Anna, perception check, please.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so Anna and Raphorin, then you both notice. Raphorin, you aren't sure who the individual is, but Anma, you realise that it is Rima, and he has approached the halfling who you and Iris saved, and is generally seems to be interacting with them.
Okay.
Obviously, in his case, silently, but the halfling seems to be talking back in response and seems to be gesturing quite wildly, and it's these gestures that you notice, Raphorin.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
Okay, I'm going to sit back and see what everyone's wanting to do.
I'm gonna move up to the next sort of house and just sort of
Excuse me.
help the wounded and stuff like that while listening in to the halfling.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm done with, I mean, I'll probably be going towards the house where everyone's been taken and see if they need any help there. But to be fair, first I'll probably go up to the halfling and see how they are, judging that they almost passed there.
Okay, sure. So as you both have meander closer, I'm guessing in your case quite casually, Rafor, and maybe Amma, you're probably walking over with a bit more of business mode to your stride, shall we say.
Yeah.
You both overhear the halfling talking to Rima and saying, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. I was trying to enchant a flute so that when someone played it, it would summon magmins or elementals of some description. It was going to be really cool, but I don't know why it went wrong.
Never mind.
Oh dear.
Did you actually just say never mind?
No, just never mind. Just sort of ignore that roll.
Oh, okay, never
No, I'm
mind.
I'm not going up to a halfling and go, oh, never mind about that. It was only a bit of fire and death. It's all good.
To be fair, it sounded like how you were speaking with Rafor, and so I thought you were actually saying it in character.
No. No, sorry.
Oh, God.
dear.
Okay. That's slightly less weird, okay.
Well, if I walk up to the halfling
Like, after this halfling says this, there's a short silence, and you notice several, like, kind of placating gestures from Rima, and the halfling appears to be slightly mollified. They are no longer as pale as they were when you pulled them up from the edge of the walkway, though they do still seem slightly on edge.
Yeah. I can understand that.
That was not an intentional pun.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Right, I'm gonna go up and talk to them. That's okay. If I'm not, jumping in the middle of this. No, I can act.
Sorry. So are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk to them.
Okay. Let's see if either of them notice you then. Okay, neither of them appear to notice your approach.
I'm gonna say, excuse me?
And as you say that, the halfling twitches and kind of spins in your direction, and Rima instantly kind of puts a steadying hand out to grasp their shoulder.
How does the halfling look? Shocked? Scared? Okay.
Yeah, as they see you, they seem to recognize you. You see that, like, spark of recognition in their face. And they seem to recognize you as someone who attempted to help them instead of throw them off the roof. So there's a plus to that, sure.
Yeah.
But, like, without rolling insight, you can't really tell how they're feeling.
I'm gonna say, I look at them and say, I'm happy to see you're okay. I'm not sure what happened, but you're okay now.
Sorry, Charlie, there's stuff in the background there.
Is there? There's nothing going on at mine.
That was really weird.
That was someone's mic. It was incredibly loud.
Yeah.
It sounded like someone was, like,
Pressing
blowing
up
out their
against
microphone
it, yeah.
or something.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, what were you saying there?
I'm saying, it's good to see you okay. I'm unsure of what happened, but you're well and good now, and the city is safe. Although we should talk to someone about your enchanting, I imagine.
as you say this, you watch as slowly, like, their posture just gets more and more hunched, and then as you start to come to the end of this, they just instantly go, sorry, and start almost bowing in your direction. Their hands they're almost wringing them, and they say, look, I was in a rush, okay? Like, usually I'm more careful, but I guess I got just one bit of the enchantment wrong, because I heard that Gilmore was going to come, and he hasn't come anyway, so I don't know why I even bothered.
Who is Gilmore?
And they look up in shock at Rima, who just kind of gives a good-natured shrug.
Should I know who Gilmore is?
Well, then roll history to see if you know who Gilmore is.
Alright. I'm just making sure it's someone we've met, and I'm just being an idiot.
Okay. You've heard a couple of stories at this point, mostly because you've been attempting to scrounge as much information as you can about Scanlan, your saviour as such.
Yeah.
You know that there was a individual called Gilmore who helped them, the group Vox Machina, vanquish the Chroma Conclave in the battle in Imon. And you've, through a bit of research and a few probing questions, learnt that he ran a rather well-established magical shop in Amon as well, and was also attempting to build one in one of the other cities, which you haven't actually found out which one it is, but you know that there was quite a lot of damage to all the cities, so you're under the impression he's probably having to rebuild.
Okay. So I'll probably know who he was then.
Yeah, like, at first the name doesn't twig, but you think, wait, enchanting, magical items, Gilmore? Oh. And you suddenly get the connection. Yeah, you know him. He's amazing. His shop is one of the best in Tal'Dorei. I mean, I really, really want to get a job there, and like being from Lurengorn, it's really, really hard to find people who actually want those kind of items. I mean, you don't get, well, I guess you get a couple of, and Rima just puts a finger on their lips, and just, you hear his voice this time say, "You're rambling, friend." Sorry, like, okay. And this halfling kind of gives a very deep breath, breathes out, and just says, "Sorry, I'm really bad at rambling. Yeah, so I just really want a job with Gilmore, and I thought if he's coming all the way here to go to the Artisans Fair, that it would be a good way of showing off my skills, and I messed up."
Is there someone that you can talk to about this? Kind of make amends for this?
Well, I was going to go around and apologise to all the people whose houses got set on fire and see if I could do anything to help. Sure.
That's a good start. That's good. I'm not sure how justice is dealt here, but I'd say you had good intentions, not evil ones.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about it. If you actually had a flute that could summon something that can set things on fire, like, think about how useful that would be in a forge or something like that, where you have to produce heat quite quickly. And she starts actually just rambling on and giving, like, various potential uses for summoning magmins, which you probably wouldn't have considered, but a few of them do sound somewhat sensible.
A good bit of sideways thinking.
Yes, exactly. At this point, by the way, in the conversation, most of the casualties have probably been ferried to the house. So Iris and Taram, Corwin, who's currently AFK, most of you will be actually congregating back around in the area, so you might be able to catch various bits of this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you could have a Magmin toaster. They could toast bread for you. See? That'd be excellent. If you really want some nice, charged, suckling pork, you can just, like, get a Magmin going on it. Really, really crisp up the skin.
Oh god, you're making me hungry now.
Magnums were pretty cute as well. I have one as a pet.
Sorry.
We're having a hog roast at our wedding.
Ooh.
It'll be good. Anyway.
Shut up!
Okay, and you are now back. Excellent. So this is Corwin is now back. So yes, I was just saying, pretty much by this point, everyone will be generally recovered. Most of the casualties are receiving treatment. The buildings are being repaired if needs be, and you're all kind of making your way over to this central point where the halfling is stood with Anma and Rima.
Cool.
I feel happy that justice will be done. As long as they make amends, then we're good. I think I might go and try and find Gilmore, actually, when they come in, because I need to find the Vox Machina anyway.
Are you saying this out of character or in character?
I'll say that in character. I'll say it like, when was it that Gilmore will be here?
Apparently he's not coming.
He's not coming?
He was meant to be, but he got sidetracked. Something about one of his other shops that he was trying to build and undergoing repairs after, the whole dragon thing.
You know what shop? Where?
I don't know. He hadn't really announced where it was going to be. I know he does pop back to the one in Amon quite regularly, though.
Is that where I live?
No. That's on this continent. You don't even come from this continent.
I know, but there is a shop on my continent.
Yes, there are lots of shops on your continent. There are shops on every continent.
Maybe.
You're not
there's
wrong.
a his shop on my continent.
No.
Oh.
You've just heard of his name before because he was originally from your continent.
That's
His
what it
parents are on your continent,
Yeah.
That's what it is.
but they're very old.
Yeah.
Still their valuables.
Don't steal their valuables. Don't piss Gilmore.
Gilmore is their valuables. They're
Kill him.
poor and live on the outskirts of town in like a slum.
Hey! My continent is not a slum.
I'm not saying your continent's a slum, I'm saying where Gilmore's parents live are.
There's no slums on my continent.
Oh, middle class.
The slum beg to differ.
Yeah, I was about to say the privilege of the upper class there.
The gentry.
Yeah. Anywho.
Landed.
Hashtag vote for Corbyn.
So, all of
Kill
you
me now.
will have actually gotten back around to
For the many, not the few.
this place, and will be listening into the conversation at this point.
I would like to edge towards the halfling.
And
I will,
push him off the cliff.
I'll be quite wary.
Stop
of
her!
doing this.
I would like to edge towards the halfling
Uh-huh.
with my head bowed and mumble, "I'm sorry."
Oh my god, can we get that on record?
You're not here!
Okay, as you're approaching, the halfling looks up and does seem to spot you. Her eyes widen for a couple of seconds and then she almost seems about to back away, and then as you say that, she goes, "Oh, okay, I mean, sure. You did try to kick me off a roof."
I would like to awkwardly hold out my hand to be shaken or kissed.
I'm sorry,
Don't take it!
I'm sorry, I've been standing here for a while now. You tried to kick them off a roof?
Who's talking?
That would be this new individual you haven't met before.
That would be the blind man behind you.
I'm just gonna turn my head slowly and look at Taram inquisitively at this.
Technically, no.
Technically, it sounds like you did, otherwise you wouldn't be apologising for kicking someone off a roof.
I never said I kicked anyone.
I'll be like, Talon, let's just apologise and leave it at that, shall we?
Okay. I'm very sorry.
We're gonna need some, a good conversation about this later.
Apology accepted, I guess?
Okay, I look visibly quite pleased now.
Oh dear.
Everybody roll perception checks.
I look visibly quizzical.
I do look quizzical. Very
We're all
quizzical.
quite perceptive, apart from Anma.
Where is my role to look quizzical?
Let's get quizzical.
I think a 10 perception will be quizzical.
Or confused.
So, Corwin, you're actually the only person who catches this, but the halfling quietly under their breath mutters, "You still tried to knock me off a roof, but sure, apology accepted." And then smiles up at the rest of you and says, "Anyway, hi, yeah, my name's Aralyn."
Aralyn.
Aralyn.
Oh, Aralyn.
I'll-
My name is
I'll-
Anma. And I'll go to shake the hand.
Yes, and she does actually take your hand as you
Oh,
offer it.
of course she does.
I will also step forward to shake Aralan's hand, and as I'm shaking hands with them, I will whisper, "The heat of battle can be a fickle thing. It wasn't personal." No, I'm sure it wasn't personal.
As you say that, she kind of blinks and grins and goes, "You've got really good hearing, haven't you?" And it's one of those very, very forced grins. Like the court grins.
I will just give a small smile back and wink, and then step back.
Amazing. It's like, wow, great.
And as you step back, she kind of looks around, seemingly realizes no one else is proffering their hand other than Taram, and says, "Rima, are you still going to go in bed?" And Rima shakes his head, and so that everyone can now hear, just says, "No, I have decided not to, though the item has been recovered. Actually, thanks to these individuals here." Wait, but you...
I puff out my chest at this.
But you wanted to buy it to help, right? And he gives a small nod and then says, "Yes, but I've come to the conclusion that perhaps it is not the best method." And she looks up at him and then kind of gives his hand a small pat and says, "You'll work something out. I'll help. I can try making some. I mean, I was gonna sell the flute and then give the money to you so that you could spend it at the auction, but if you're not gonna do that, then we can use the money for something else, right?" And she seems to have switched her attention back to Rima now that you guys.
Okay, I just can't insight for shit.
Did they say what they wanted to buy at the auction? Sorry.
They did not, but they did mention that it was the item that you recovered.
Oh, in the box.
Mm-hmm.
And that. Okay. Interesting. Would I have put two and two together?
Yeah, like, the fact that they've mentioned it's the item you recovered, you'd realise
Oh,
that
okay.
it's the thing in
Okay.
the box.
Oh, okay, now I feel kind of bad. What is it?
At this point,
It is.
Raphorin will kneel down next to the halfling,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say, I've forgotten his name.
Uralin.
Master Aralin, was it?
Mistress, but sure.
I'm sorry, I can't see very well. I heard your predicament, and I do not like to dissuade people from the magical arts, and from what I've seen here today, you can definitely do magic. I would like to fund you a trip.
She blinks at you and then says, "Fund me? How does that work? I mean, is that like you're becoming my sponsor? Aren't you meant to be a teacher to be a sponsor? I mean, like, that's what I'd heard anyway. But then again, I haven't really heard very much because we don't really have very many schools here, and, well,
Something along those lines, yes. You wish to go see Gilmore in Gilmore's Glorious Goods, do you not?
Oh,
You're
you've heard of
cutting
it
out.
too. Yeah, kind. I mean, kind. It's kind of like meeting your heroes, though. They're never going to be as good as what you actually think they're going to be, and it would mean that I'd have to leave here, and I've got all my workshop here, and that I can't really take that with me. I don't know. Maybe I should just stay and try and make stuff that helps the city.
Instead of burning it.
Both are good options. If you do wish to go to Amon to see Gilmore, then I will pay for your trip personally.
They have to pay for me.
Why would you do that?
Like I said, you have shown interest in the magical arts, and not many people at such a young age would be able to do what you have done here. That is a power to be trained correctly.
At that, her pug nose wrinkles slightly, and she looks up at Rima and just gives a small snort. And what tension seemed to have remained from previously being thrown off the roof and everything that's happened since then dissipates, and she just says, "Oh, why is it everyone always thinks that I'm young? Like, do I look young? I mean, I guess I look young, but hey, I'm not middle-aged, but I'm not exactly a teen. I'm like, what are you? You're half-elf, right? So I'm probably actually the same age as you."
I am half-elf, yes.
Yeah, I figured that. I'm 40. How old are you?
Roughly the same age.
Yeah, but
But
I
you
live
are-
younger, so I guess I'm a bit younger by that
Exact-
standard. But
You are younger in your life cycle, is what I was going for.
well, yeah, Yeah, but I'm definitely not a kid, and you're treating me like a kid.
I'm not really treating you like a kid. I'm treating you like someone who just tried to burn down half the city, but I'm seeing the magical potential.
Oh, thanks, I guess. I'll see. I kind of need to hang around here for a little while longer because, there's stuff happening.
Very well. If you wish to go to Amon, I would be willing to pay for your fare or ferry you there.
Oh, thanks, mister.
It is quite all right.
You didn't actually introduce yourself.
I am Raphorin. I am here on business.
Aralin Underbow, at your service.
Good to meet you, Aralin.
Likewise.
I'm sure we'll be seeing your shops one day.
Definitely.
Just look for the burning.
But you should actually come by mine if you've got time. I mean, I do need to sort some stuff out. Reba, are you gonna come? And she looks up at Rima, who gives her almost a fatherly nod, and then says, I will come shortly. I will... Well, I need to check in at home first. And also make sure my old friend is stabled. And she nods at him and says, well, in that case, I could... Do you guys want tea? I can do good tea. It's hard to get tea wrong. I mean, actually, it is really easy to get it wrong, but you know what I mean.
Eating or drinking tea?
Drinking tea?
No,
What
thank
other kind
you.
of tea is there?
Eating tea. No, thank you.
Eat tea?
As a meal.
Oh, dinner.
Because in the North, people call dinner
Do you
tea.
actually say dinner in character? Because if so, then Aralin kind of goes, oh!
Yeah.
Isn't
Oh,
language weird? Why are there so
definitely.
many words for the same thing? It's
Anyway, shall we go to the inn? Because I think that's where our barmaid has gone.
Oh yes.
But
And
you
has-
have your
that
own
makes
personal
sense.
barmaid?
Well, one of our friends, has she got the item?
Friend?
She ran off with it. We should probably go and find out what's happened to it and her.
This
Yeah.
barmaid you speak of,
Yeah.
were they perchance running along a rooftop?
Probably.
I'm not
That
sure.
sounds like her.
I mean, she was running.
None of you would really know that.
Well, we know you were running away. In a different
I know, it
direction.
sounds like you.
Well, I think I know where they are.
Okay.
I had a run-in with them earlier on. They were
Oh, really? What happened?
running away from the fire on top of the rooftops, holding a box, looking
Uh-huh, yeah, that sounds
very
like them.
looking very conspicuous.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I killed them.
No.
She's a very
Wait, what?
suspicious-looking character. What happened?
Yes, so they were running across the rooftop, and I sort of accidentally killed them on purpose.
Oh, no. Oh, that's terrible.
Yes,
You-
they were
you
they
what?
were very suspicious. You see, they.
Rough and nothing, gushing.
I
Well,
asked
I
them
don't
questions.
think anyone could really blame you. I mean, who would have known?
I fired 2 warning shots. They stuck their middle finger back up at me and
That
shot me
is
with
so
a bow.
her. It sounds like you did everything you could.
Talon.
Well, thank you for understanding. Anyway, I think I know where they are, and I do actually have business with all of you.
So you didn't kill her.
Oh no, I revived them afterwards.
Oh.
They died, and then
'Cause
I
that
thought better
makes
of it.
better. How?
Everybody roll insights, by the way, who's listening here.
Yeah, sure.
Like, what?
Yeah. You get the feeling that when he says die, he means that he knocked them unconscious.
Yeah, that I knew that. That's why I was
Okay.
so calm about it all.
Yeah, of course.
Across the other side of the city, Caliph sneezes.
I'm okay. As you're saying it, then I'd be like, okay,
Choo!
Either way, I need to speak to the barmaid and the rest of you, in fact.
Okay. So we'll make our way to the tavern together. Hopefully, we can put this disagreement behind us.
Sounds good. Someone lead the way. I'm not very good at seeing.
I'll lead the way!
I'll lead the way.
Before... Sound stupid thing. Before we disappear, do I need to get the bird to follow me, as in, shall I just proffer my arm to the bird and ask it to hop on?
Probably.
Or does it follow us? Making
Roll
a
another animal handling check. It's too large to actually have on your arm. It's, like I said, it's around the size of a Labrador at this point, or like a.
I could handle a Labrador.
Medium-sized
tiny.
dog. But yeah, you essentially start to feed it bits of jerky from your rations, and it seems happy enough to follow you. Alassa, who's been watching, stands up at this point and then gives you a wry grin. Says, well, you're taking care of that one. I suppose I should take care of that big lummox up there. And points up to Scream, who is now essentially sunning himself on the top of one of the houses. The townspeople don't seem too perturbed or surprised by this. They seem to just be fairly used to the wyverns chilling in the area on occasion. But at this, Scream looks down and gives a almost purring noise, which, yeah, you haven't really heard croons and stuff from a wyvern that much before, and it sounds incredibly odd. And as it does so, it gets up and then starts to make its way down onto the walkway alighting next to Alassa. And the other two at this point, you notice that Lala whistles and Beauty also then makes its way over to her, and Remus is still up on the rooftop, seemingly not too bothered with moving at the moment. Rima gives a small sigh and then says, "Fine, I will return for you later. In that case, shall I?" And the wyvern almost coquettishly flicks its tail in his direction, and he just kind of grins, his eyes crinkling over his mask. And he looks towards you all and says, "So, may I take it that you will be in one of the inns? Which one?"
Can't remember the name of it.
The Moon's Rest.
The Moon's Rest.
Excellent. I will make my way there after I've checked in with my home. I do believe that I owe you my thanks, after all.
It's been a pleasure.
And he...
You're welcome.
sketches a short bow and starts to head off towards one of the other trees. As he does so, Aralyn looks between you as a group and him, and then just says, I'm gonna go with him, okay? No offense,
Sounds good to me.
right? No offense. Nice meeting you all. Bye! and instantly starts legging it after Rima, who is striding out. It's a bit hard for her to catch up to him, but she manages it.
The longer she stays with us, the more I think Talon's going to strangle us there. So,
Exactly. So yes, both of them make their way off, and as do the other two with their wyverns.
Bye!
Taram doesn't make friends easily.
No.
I wouldn't have guessed.
Taryn
not
has
here.
issues with making friends.
I've got to survive a few murder attempts, and then you get to know Talon.
Okay.
So are we walking to the pub now?
Yep,
Yes.
so if you would like to move your tokens back up in that case.
Eh.
I'm on a
making myself
laptop. This is
comfortable.
very inconvenient.
I know, right? I'm not on a laptop. This is
I know.
excellent.
I was like, can we take like a long rest or something?
Yeah, you will be able to rest up in a bit.
Am I tiny? I'm tiny, aren't I?
Yeah, I'm just
thank
getting
you.
all your sizing sorted out as well.
Oh, can I pet the bird?
Where is my
Iris Iris is stood on a rooftop. I will move.
That's how I
Iris.
roll, yo!
Fair.
That's the Dark Knight. All bleeding.
Okay, so
Tiny
you
moon.
will make your way over to the opposite side of the city where the Moon's Rest is located. Then it takes you around half an hour at an ordinary pace, which unfortunately you do have to keep because right now Pharaoh seems to be kind of pausing every so often and then trying to, you have to essentially persuade Pharaoh to come all the way with you. It doesn't seem entirely certain as to this area of the city. And as you approach the Moon's Rest, you have... Actually, Iris, would you think about, letting a eagle into a establishment, or would you just go, fuck it, I'm going to walk in with this thing?
Let it poop everywhere.
Well, Pharaoh seems kind of, well trained for a wild bird. So I'd kind of, what's the word? Not coax. Encourage it to go and sit on a shelf and not be a nuisance. And keep an eye out.
Okay, roll animal handling.
I hope it's a 1. Oh, damn it.
Okay.
I hope it just poop everywhere.
Yeah, so the Moon's Rest has the outer balconies, and then you have the inner tavern area where all the rooms are, where the tap room is, and the kitchen.
Why has the bird not tried to eat the squirrel?
Because the squirrel is safe in my pocket, and if the bird
Yeah.
comes near me, I'm clipping its wings.
Exactly, I've already been threatened once.
It hasn't spotted the squirrel yet. But yes, so the bird makes its way over to the balcony and actually stays outside, just perching on the balcony. It doesn't seem inclined to go inside. It probably isn't entirely comfortable because there are lots of people around, so it just perches and starts preening its feathers quite happily on the balcony ledge. And you all make your way into the tavern. So, is Caliph in the main tavern area?
Well, I was escorting. I can never remember his name. The old guy. I was escorting him to wherever he needed to go, for as long as he needed me to help him.
Okay. So you're actually going to escort him the entire way to the auction area?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, in that case... Right, everyone roll perception then. As in every single person.
Damn.
Nope.
Yep, hold on.
Must be so confusing for all the stream
Perception.
people watching stream because I keep on getting like all the Discord messages popping up in the corner. It's
Oh,
like,
shit.
yes, yes, all the burb gifts and stuff
Oh,
like that.
whoops.
They were quite concerned when the picture from Indiana Jones came up. They're like, what on earth is going on?
Oh, yeah. Ark of the Covenant. Good fun. Oh, that's one hell of a perception.
Okay. Caliph as well? Oh, dang. Those are
God damn
really
it!
long
God damn it!
rolls.
No one is looking.
Yeah, none of you actually happen to spot this, but at one point, as Caliph is escorting Renan to the auction house and you're all headed towards the tavern, you don't quite pass each other, but you do happen to be walking close by at that point on different trees. And you don't spot each other at all. So,
Okay.
headed to Caliph then. The auction is actually taking place, strangely enough, up towards the main temple area in one of the noble houses. And it probably takes you around 20 minutes to actually escort Renan up there because he is moving somewhat slower than usual. And eventually...
Whoop!
Whoop. Okay.
Or slow moving, whilst other people do stuff.
Yes. But eventually you get up to this noble house, and it's not so much that the auction's being held inside the house, as this house has a particularly large, elaborate balcony surrounding it. And the auction is taking place on top of said balcony. There are various seats set up, lots of people mingling, there's food, there's drink. People actually seem to be gathered there, not just for the auction itself, but for the general company and chatter it brings. And there seems to be a air of anticipation. As you look around, please roll insight. Okay.
There's a
Yeah,
common
yeah.
theme with my dice rolling over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. There have been a lot of 8s this week, to be fair.
Can I change my dice?
No, you can, however, use your inspiration if you want to re-roll.
No, I think that's alright.
Okay. So you take a look around, and as far as you can tell, everybody's just generally excited for the auction. And as Renan arrives, a couple of people start nudging each other, and they all seem to have noticed his presence within a couple of minutes. The entire balcony, slowly a hush spreads as Renan, no longer leaning upon your shoulder, starts to walk towards the house, which is incredibly beautiful. Most of the houses in this city are darker woods. This one is made of woods of almost white and silver. So you've got this beautiful curling design, and you realise that probably whoever lives here must have some connection to the temple, as the designs are somewhat similar. They curl upwards, almost mimicking the winds and the northern lights that you would see in winter during the festival when the sky swimmers essentially guide the lights through the sky. And this alone makes you kind of aware whoever lives here probably fairly important and affiliated to the temple. And sure enough, as you make your way forward, you do start to notice, following Renan, that there are a couple of individuals in temple garb around. They seem to be waiting patiently, and he seems to be making his way towards them. None who you recognize, however, one does bear a beautiful gemstone upon their brow in a circlet of silver, not quite as ornate as some that you might have seen on nobles in the city, on the sky ships. It's more a simple design. However, you can tell that it's quite valuable just by the gemstone alone. It's got a luster to it. It's probably, you would guess, a moonstone of some description. And their clothing, this individual that Renan's approaching, is beautiful white silks with some silver embroidery, again almost mimicking these northern lights and the movements that you would see of those. And upon their chest they have the mark of Sehenin also embroidered. And as Renan finally approaches them, he's walking slightly taller. He seems to be pushing back the pain, and he approaches with the box in his hands, looks towards them and says, "It is good to see you. The auction may begin now." And they give a gentle nod in his direction. What would you like to do as you're watching the proceedings?
I think I see that really big shiny gem, and for a moment, my eyes light up, and then I turn away and go, "No, no."
Don't steal
Just a
from
barmaid.
the monks of Sehenin. Jeez, that would be bad.
Just a barmaid, and I will head back to the tavern in which I work.
Okay, sure. So, in that case, as you're making your way, then the others, you'd have probably have arrived at the tavern by this point. So, whoever's looking around for Calith, please roll perception to see if you spot, or who you spot in general.
I think I'll be looking.
Sorry, Liz, can you repeat what you just said?
So anyone who's looking for Calith in the tavern, please roll perception. Okay. So looking about for Anma and Corn, you keep on looking and you spot people who have got the right colour hair, and then you look over and think, no, not quite. Iris, you take a look around on the balcony and then head into the tavern and quickly realise that Calith is currently actually not present. Same with Taram. You both, however, do now spot the barkeep, or the owner, Galeth, who you previously spoke to somewhat when you were introduced to Renan.
I'd assume that Calith's in here then, I guess.
So you would still be trying to look for Calith, or?
Yeah, I'll keep having a look around. I mean, it's not a huge amount of people here though, so it shouldn't take me too long, I guess.
It is actually quite busy in the bar at the moment.
Yeah, you said so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep looking.
Okay.
This is where I'd assume she'd be. I don't know why she'd run off, kind of thing.
I'm going to go ask the bar owner where Caliph is, rather than look for her.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
So you quickly establish you're probably not going to be able to spot her very easily when it's this busy, and you just make your way over to the bar in the hopes that someone is there who can help.
Yes.
And sure enough, you do spot the barkeep Galeth, who both Taram and Iris have also spotted.
In that case, I'll go up to Galith and just ask him if he's seen Caliph and where are they.
Okay. He leans over the bar to look at you and just says, "Ah, you're one of the ones who went off to help her recover Renan's lost item, yes?"
Yeah, we went to assist Renan, yes.
Well, she was here briefly. She came in to say that she was back, and
I would have said that I was going with the guy.
Yeah, I know. So she came to say that she was back, and she went to find Renan in his room as he hadn't emerged from it yet. When he realised that she had the box, they both made their way out and apparently headed off towards the auction, which was due to happen yesterday, but, well, with the box missing, it's rather hard to have an auction without the item.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much. I'll try and run around, gather everyone, let them know that Caliph has left for the auction.
Okay. So, yeah, I'd say you probably managed to actually gather people quite easily. It takes you probably around 5 minutes, just generally sifting through the amount of people. But you do manage to find everyone.
I'm very good at recognising kneecaps.
Oh god, yeah.
Kneecaps and also, like, the hilts and butts of weapons and stuff like that.
The butt and the other butt.
And people.
Yes. Okay. So, what would you all like to do in that case?
Well, if the auction's going on, we should go to the auction.
Yeah, I say we go find them. And find out exactly what it is we've...
I had a
risked everything
horrible
for.
feeling you guys were going to say that. We're going to go out, we're all going to fail our perception checks again. We're going to get to the auction, we're going to go back, and that's going to be the next 2 hours.
Pinball
It'd be
machine.
amazing.
Oh, man.
It'd be the
But why doesn't someone stay at the inn in case they come back?
I mean,
I'll
I vote
stay at
it's
the
not
inn.
me, as the last time they saw me, I sort of killed them.
yeah, Talon, you'd be fine, wouldn't you? You haven't pissed off Caleb, have you?
Not that Caliph knows of?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The
trying to
pointed
think.
nature of that question there.
Well, I don't mind waiting, but you know, as in character, I'd like to see the hustle bustle and what's going on.
I'll stay here at the inn.
If you want to. I mean, that's fine.
I think I've done enough walking for today. I will wait here for your companions to return.
Of course. I'm going to.
To the auction!
Yeah. I want to see people spend a lot of money on things they don't need.
Okay, so Anma and Iris and Corwin, you're headed to the auction then?
Yep, plus the bird.
While actively looking for Caliph and thingy.
Okay. So, first of all, whoever is headed towards the auction and who is leading the party, please roll a charisma check to see if you can actually find out where it's being
Yay.
held.
Diplomacy. I do diplomacy.
This will not go well. So who's actually in front?
I don't know.
I mean, I would.
Okay, roll.
I've got a bird.
Eh.
To take care of, I mean. Sorry, that just stopped working.
I got a bird. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit tired.
It's
Bird,
okay.
bird, bird's the word. I said a bird, bird, bird.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, so Anma, you head out of the tavern, and as you're doing so, you kind of ask a few of the patrons and also catch the attention of one of the barmaids and ask them, and like after speaking to around 3 of them, you get a generally quite a good gist of where the auction is being held. You know it's up in the Silver Ring, which is the ring that houses most of the nobles' quarters and is surrounding the temple itself.
Oh, it's fancy.
Yes. So, as you make your way out, though, please could you roll survival just to see if you're able to... Actually, would it be survival?
Me?
Just just to make sure.
Yeah,
you're
I'll do survival
to
for
make
getting
sure
to
you're
a place.
able to actually get there, retaining the information, and actually make your way in the correct direction and stuff like
This
that.
can only go
Is that just for Anma?
Well, whoever else wants to roll, I would say, who has proficiency in survival. If 2 of you've got proficiency, or I was about to say Iris does, so...
I don't have proficiency.
I do not.
Okay, so Iris would be the only one rolling in that case. None of you would be able to lend advantage. It does take a little while just because the city is still quite confusing to you.
So sorry, is it me and the white guy who are staying in the inn?
It is, yes.
Okay.
I'm not racist. Why am I sat with that white guy?
Can I just say, best choices of people to wait for Caliph, right there.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, you don't in character have a problem with the bard, so
I just like to stir the pot. I mean,
Sure, not a problem with the bard. Anyway,
I want to see white lights and lots of people and money and shit.
so as you are making your way then, it does take you a little while to actually find the area, probably slightly longer than it would take Caliph, I'd say closer to 25 minutes. Could 3 of you and Caliph all roll perception, please?
Here we go!
Go! Good start. Continue that.
Oh,
Yes!
dang!
I spot you a mile off!
Last one is Iris.
Oh, God. Go on,
Sorry.
Alice. Go on.
It's okay.
And here comes the Nat 1 walking off the cliff.
You're ambushed. Oh,
They don't have railing!
Not awful.
Okay, Caliph, you spot these 3 coming from a mile off, mostly because you spot an eagle flying and just kind of generally soaring above the walkway that you're on. And as it approaches, you kind of look down thinking, well, it seems to be following someone. That's a bit peculiar. And you spot Anma, you spot Iris, and then eventually, as the crowds part, you also spot Corwin.
Hello, chums!
What up?
What up? Oh, wait, hello.
So, how was the situation on the other side of the city?
The battle I ran away from.
Where's that annoying bard?
Oh, dear.
Everyone's chilling in the tavern at the moment, except for us.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, everything will go alright? You've acquired a bird.
Yes, isn't it wonderful?
That's a fine-looking bird.
Yeah, when did you get that?
I assume it does tricks.
Hope so.
Probably.
Spend some money.
So, are you guys going somewhere?
Go to the auction.
The wizardy guy, I can never remember his name.
Renan.
Now?
Renan. Well, he gave us these 5 potion things. They're healing, apparently. Probably going to be very useful if the group of us ever work again.
I can see us working again.
It would be nice if that bard could. Anyway, yes, we're going to the auction. Well, enjoy. I'm going back to work.
Okay, we'll find you back there. Do you know where Vanan is? Banana.
Oh yeah, he's at the really posh-looking one, just up the road there.
The auction.
Yeah.
Okay. Go find. Okay. See you later.
Have fun.
I want to talk to the guy who's in the tavern with me.
You want to talk to a foreign?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
Hello.
Good day.
So, whereabouts have you come from?
I have been journeying for a while now, but I have come from Vasselheim.
Lucy, where do I come from?
You come from Marquette.
You
I
come from
say
Marquette,
that.
which is the furthest away from Vasselheim you could get.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's basically like Siberia versus like Africa in distance.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah.
Is it very nice there?
It's very cold, but there's quite a lot of interesting people there and a lot of history.
Okay. Would you like me to play you a song?
You're not very good at this talking thing, are you, dear?
No. You're not saying for anything very interesting. Would you like me to play you a song?
One cannot say anything interesting unless one gets good questions asked.
You haven't asked me anything about myself.
I didn't want to talk to you. You wanted to talk to me.
I'm going to play a song now.
This is how most of those conversations go this time.
Very well. Entertain me. I'll just sit here all dark and tall and handsome.
I'm playing my song. It's a good song. You can see how good it is.
No, I can't. I've taken my glasses off.
You can hear how good it is.
Someone tell me what that number says.
Plenty good.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah, 26 out of 28.
Yeah, that's a pretty good song.
Damn good song. Okay, fine. I'm happily playing to myself and ignoring
Did you
the
not
guy who
want to
doesn't
ask
talk.
me about the fact that I'm blind, or
No.
the fact that... No?
This
not
does
gonna ask
not
me...
interest Taram.
No? Okay. You're a very weird bard.
Well, anyway, I'm playing my song.
I tap my foot to the song.
Excellent. Lucy, you can do the next bit now. I feel role played out.
Okay,
That was
attempt to engage the white dude in conversation. I hate the fact that you're now nicknamed the white dude, Shane. Sorry.
So do I.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Just change your robes and you won't be the white dude anymore.
The white wizard.
But they symbolise things. No one's even asked me about the patterns on them.
No, I've not even spoke to. I just left.
I know.
Taram isn't very interested in
I love how
many people apart from Taram.
I love how we said that this session was going to be RP between you guys, that you actually started to know each other better.
Evidently not.
You did.
Well, it took us, an hour and a half just to get back to the pub, so, you know.
I know, and now you've all left.
I haven't. I'm still here.
No, I voted to not leave, but apparently everyone else wanted to go to the auction.
Not me.
Anywho, so you two have a slightly stilted, incredibly short conversation, and then Taram begins playing music
And captivates the room.
Yeah. You assuage some of the awkwardness by playing music. Music is your way of talking, clearly. It's definitely a less irritating way of talking.
Gee, thanks, Lucy.
Anywho, so going back then to the rest. So Caliph, you have left the three who are headed to the auction in order to once more head back to the bar and get back to work. The three of you who have headed to the auction then. So, yeah, you pretty much, as you're approaching this, instantly see why Caliph called this one of the fancy houses of the area. It is incredibly beautiful, and as you're rolling up, you do hear quite a lot of chatter and general hubbub as you make your way onto the balcony. Hello, I've just had a housemate return and is about to hug me because it's cold.
So cold. Are there green people for sale?
There are not green people.
But you said it's an auction.
Oh.
That is the most terrible pun,
Oh.
but that was so beautiful.
Oh god, that took me a second to actually realise.
Tell her I hate her.
Can you shake her hand for me?
No.
Waifu,
I'm
please
giving
go
her-
die.
I'm giving her a hug because she is cold.
I got held on 4 times today.
Oh, poor baby.
I am. It's difficult being me. I have to leave the house.
Anywho, sorry stream and sorry D&Ders for random interruption from housemate there. It is lovely being able to hear both sides of the conversation though now with Shane's new mic. Yes, so you approach the balcony and realise there are probably around like 50, 60 people on said balcony at this point. Some of them are seated in the chairs, others are just generally milling around. You're not entirely certain if the auction itself has actually started yet. It doesn't appear to have done as you approach.
Am I able to use... Sorry.
It's okay.
Am I able to use Pharaoh to gain any information?
Use the bird to steal the item.
In what manner?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm imagining I don't really have any communication powers with Pharaoh. But I'm thinking...
Not at present, no. So,
I'm not being silent on purpose, I'm thinking.
okay.
I'm thinking just sort of sending her out, her. I haven't decided on an agenda yet.
Okay.
Just for a sweep around, because I'm imagining as a bird she'd spot any danger.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I would say, considering your current bond with her, well, you can definitely try, but it would be quite a difficult DC to do so. Because you'd actually have to give her a command, and she isn't trained yet. But you can attempt
Intriguing.
to.
It would be hilarious.
It would.
Let's give it a go. It can only end in hilarity.
Do it for the lols.
Here
Always.
comes the one.
Sorry, shift is my talk key.
It's okay.
You might need to remind me what to do.
So roll another animal handling check. Okay. So that's 1 second. Let's see. Okay. So you tell Pharaoh to essentially sweep the area, see if she notices anything, but as you do so, she does fly up and fly around, but she comes back and she doesn't seem to know exactly what it is you're wanting from her. She knew enough to fly and to go up, but not quite enough to actually process anything or tell you any information or anything like that.
She will learn. But that's cool. Interesting.
Okay, the other two then. Are you doing anything in particular as you approach?
I'm gonna look up for Renan.
Okay, roll perception.
That's what I would have been doing as well. It's kind of why we're here.
Yeah. Okay. It's not easy to spot him. I mean, this is a, well, mostly elven city, and being an elf himself, he does blend in quite well, especially as a large proportion of them are moon elves, wood elves, so they have similar colouring, quite pale skin, quite pale hair, and he shares this trait. But eventually you do think, well, most people who are sat are facing in this particular direction, so potentially he's going to be towards the front, seeing as he was presenting the item for the auction. And Xander, you, or Corwin, you spot him by following that logic.
Do we know? Do we know that he's selling the item? Did we get that?
Well, you.
So no, Caleb got it. I'm not sure if we did.
You were told that it was an item that he had come here to sell, yes, originally.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'll
also
point.
the item that Rima wanted. Rima?
Is this, sorry, that's me? Yes, it is.
Yeah. And we don't know why.
Nope.
It's interested in saying what and seeing what it is.
Well, you were told originally that it was a fruit with some mystical power.
Oh, yeah, of course it was a fruit. Oh.
A fruit
I like-
box.
I like someone's just gonna buy it as like
A magical pomegranate.
yeah. Like someone's just gonna get it and then just put it.
It's the banana of destiny.
And, okay, that's fine. Sorry.
That's okay. That is going back quite a few weeks at that point, to be honest. And it's useful because chat hasn't, or the streamers haven't actually heard this, so yes, the item is a fruit of mystical power, though the party themselves don't actually know what said power entails.
I hope it can't be bruised because I shot it out of someone's hand quite hard. So
Good point.
just
Point.
just hope it's not bruised.
As a magical item, I hope it be resilient.
Yes.
But if not, well.
Well, you aren't certain. But yeah, so I'm guessing Corwin at spotting.
I'll tug on the hem of Anma's shirt, seeing that's probably the only thing I can reach and point Renan out.
On my singed cloak.
Hey, over there.
I will clear the way for us.
As he leans up to tug on you, you do get a slight scent of urine, by the way.
I'll make a.
Surely that should have required a DC 20 perception check.
Nah, there's a lot of piss, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, these cities, they should really like clean up after a demon attack.
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, sure. The city, which pretty much smells beautifully of perfumed flowers and stuff like
Hey,
that.
people can
It
make
did.
mistakes.
We
Sure.
forgive you for pissing.
The entire city pissed themselves when the demons attacked.
It's
It's fine. You can't prove otherwise.
1 second, I'm just gonna have to mute while I cough.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't. I just got knocked out and set on fire. But at least I didn't urinate on myself.
I don't know that I did either, so it's fine.
Oh yeah. Well,
We'll tell you.
You wouldn't have known. You didn't see.
You've just been walking around with the
Hey,
smell.
bye.
You're like, well, where's that coming from?
Anywho, yes. So, do you head over to Renan at this point?
Yeah, I'll clear.
Yeah, head over there and like wait for him to finish his auction. Just make sure he's
Well, if
okay.
he's
Everything
up
was
there
in order.
I will watch and listen and see if he explains more on, or like elaborates more on what the item is, what it does,
Okay.
who wants it,
Okay.
And why?
and why exactly.
Sure. So, as you head towards him, you do realise that actually the auction must be underway. However, none of you have actually gone to an auction before. You don't really know how they're conducted.
You mean I wasn't sold at a slave auction, or was I just captured and used as a slave?
You were just
Taram's been
sold.
to many.
Well, I have not read about auctions in my time at the libraries.
Well, did he say that? Did he say I was sold? as a
You
slave?
were sold, but
So I know
not
about
necessarily
auctions.
an auction.
Oh, oh dear.
Yeah, they check your teeth.
Yeah, they do check my teeth. They're very good teeth.
You were an Asimar. You
Yes.
were essentially shown straight to the people who could pay for you and were sold directly to them.
And the ones that would endure my wrath. The wrath of the gods. God damn it.
Sure.
Anyway, that time will come.
Yeah, so the auction itself, instead of people actually calling out and being generally rambunctious, as auctions in certain places might be, it's quite quiet with the actual bidding. People seem to be just raising written pieces of parchment with the amounts that they're bidding upon it, instead of actually calling out and trying to make too much noise about it. And the people who are officiating it as well, they just are quietly pointing towards whoever is currently holding the highest amount, so they know exactly how much is currently being bid. And you look over as the individual points and notice that the item is currently going for around about 40 gold pieces.
40 gold. We haven't got any gold, have we?
I've got 10 gold pieces. I don't know about you.
I've got some silver.
Oh, I've got 15 gold pieces.
If the party was here, we could have bid on the box to find out what it was.
Yeah, we
If
could.
the party had had any choice in the matter, we could have not given the box back.
I know, but it was also what we set out to do. I guess we have no reason not to.
I might.
Am I, hold on, I'm the rogue in the party and I didn't suggest keeping it.
I know, right?
You
Congratulations.
didn't suggest
you have a
anything,
moral
you ran off and
compass.
did it.
I'm still thinking there's an alignment change coming for Taram.
Oh, there.
Damn right there is. It's beautiful. Okay, well can I make it like a... Can I look at the kind of people bidding for it? Can I sense anything like...
Are there any shifty individuals among
Do they
them?
look very wealthy? Do they, have anything in common?
Roll insight.
Insight, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Okay, you take a look around and you quickly notice that while there are, like I said, lots of people here, and some of the people are just generally quietly chattering around the edges of the auction area, those who are actually seated and are bidding, they are incredibly quiet. Some of them look quite solemn, in fact, and have an air of focus about them. And you notice that a few of them in particular, their features seem to be pinched and drawn, not quite entirely desperate with some of them, but there's almost an air of grief as well as desperation about them.
Oh dear, does this like increase your lifespan or something? And these people are dying. Oh, this is. I'm getting such a bad feeling about this.
Do any of them look like they're from out of town, or are they all elves? The bidders, that is.
You would have to roll to see as well, if you're trying to read them.
Do I have detect magic?
I do.
I want to detect magic.
Yeah, not all of the individuals bidding are elves. You can't quite tell whether they are out of town or not, because whilst this is mostly an elven city, there are others living here who are not of elven blood.
I don't know any of them, do I?
I have such a bad feeling about this.
Probably not, no.
That's cool.
Okay, so you don't have detect magic, Charlie?
I don't believe so. I don't know if I have all of my spells written down or not for my cleric.
You don't have them written down on Roll20, no, because your character sheet wasn't working well enough to do that.
Yeah, I've got the ones I use, but not all of them.
Yeah,
But I didn't
you would have
obviously
had to have
prepare
prepared
anyway.
it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Well, I still feel like it's a bit, weird. And I'm gonna have to. I'll keep watching them, and I'll see. I'm not sure if Colin's noticed anything, but I'll point out to Colin what I've seen, and I'll say like, what I've noticed about the bidders. And I might say to him, I'll say to him as well, I'll be like, well, this is, I'm like feeling uncomfortable and this, I'm not sure about this. And how they feel, how they look, griefed and...
Or desperate, almost.
Desperate, yeah. And that's, yeah. So...
Okay. How do you react to this, Corwin?
Well, I'll be agreeing with them going, it does strike me as odd. I mean, why do so many people need this thing? Like, what could be so wrong with all these different people that they need a mystical fruit to save them? Although when you say it out loud, it does sound pretty silly.
It does, but it...
But, like, we don't know, like, the full power of whatever's in the box, and we don't know if it can be used positively or negatively, so it's like...
Yeah, you know that in the wrong hands.
There's like this gut feeling of mistrust.
Yeah, I don't trust it, and also, they're paying 40 gold at the moment, it might go higher. So it's not like thousands of gold.
Yeah, if people are that desperate, surely the bid would have been higher by now.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we'll have to watch and see, maybe.
But we're people watching the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stealthily people watching the crowd.
Maybe Renan as well. Maybe I'll look at Renan and see how he's doing. I might just like question him later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, so when you're watching them, are you just trying to pick up generally more information on their current state of minds?
Yeah.
Yeah, that maybe listening to the whispers of other people, because even if they're not bidding on it, they might know what it is, and it might give us a better idea of what's going on.
I might say to you that if you want to walk amongst them and see what you can hear.
Yeah.
While I stay here and watch.
In that case, another perception check from Alex and another insight check from you, Charlie. Okay, leading with the lower roll then. Looking around, like, it's hard to garner any more information, just from body language and facial expression. Especially when you're looking over at Renan, sometimes he's incredibly difficult to read. He's incredibly contained now that the situation is back under his control. When you first met him and the box was missing, he seemed incredibly anxious. However, now that it's back in his hands, now that everything's back on track, he seems relieved and happy that things are going
I almost.
according to plan.
Oh no, yeah, Corwin's already gone. So I was going to say to Corwin if he can. Well, I won't say it if he's not near me anymore. Otherwise, that'd be unfair.
Okay, in that case, Corwin.
Yeah.
So you're listening to people, yes?
Yeah, I'm going through the crowd, seeing if I can hear anything, find out a bit more about what the item actually is.
Yeah. So just
people
listening,
could use it for.
not talking to people? Or are you talking as well?
I'd probably just be listening for now, because if there are people in the Ferris Motors, I don't want them to hear me asking about the box, because I don't want to draw attention to myself.
Okay.
Not at this point in time, anyway.
Right, so like I said, generally the people in the centre who are actually bidding are quiet, so you head to the outskirts of the balcony where people are gathered, and you overhear like a few general people's conversations. Some of them aren't even talking about the auction, they just seem to have gathered here because free food, for instance, and they are chattering away saying, "Oh, have you tried this dish? It's absolutely lovely. I mean, where did they get that honey? It's divine." And very, very much just reveling in the free food. A couple of people are using this as an opportunity to just generally chatter away as well, and are exchanging gossip about other individuals within the city, things like that. But eventually you do overhear one group who are talking, and they catch your attention because as you're approaching, you hear one of the individuals ask, "Have you heard? Rima's child. They're the latest? Oh, poor Rima. His wife must be so upset." And they are talking in very hushed whispers. And as you get close past them, one of the group turns around to the other who initiated the conversation and says, "But why is he not here then? Surely he would want to bid." And the initiator says, "He thought it wouldn't help them. It can heal anything. Surely it would help." And that's pretty much as much of the conversation you can get as you pass them by, trying to act unsuspiciously.
That's very interesting. I will then make my way back through the crowd and relay that to Anma, that apparently it's a fruit that can heal anything, and that if Rima can't get it, there might be a way we can perhaps help Rima for what they did for us out in the woods before.
Rima definitely deserves our help.
Exactly.
Is there not something we can do now to get this fruit?
Not at the current bids, unless we can obtain money from another source. But to get it here before the auction ends.
Or maybe there's something else we can offer. Maybe more services, maybe more... I'm not sure. Renan seems like a reasonable man. We can...
Yeah, but if it's an auction, we can't just say, we'll take it for, servitude.
We can speak with him afterwards.
But it'll have been sold at that point.
It will, and we can speak to him and see what we can do. Perhaps there's more of these.
Yeah. Might be worth going back to the main guys and letting them know what's going on, see if we can help before it's too late.
Okay.
Better a full party than a half party.
But quite, we've got information, we can bring it back and maybe find out a bit more about what's going on.
of course. Let's run back and see what we can do.
Okay, so you are reconvening without talking to Renan back at the tavern.
Well, because we don't want to interrupt the auction, so yeah.
We can always talk to him later.
This is fair.
Hoping he doesn't die horribly somehow.
Okay, in which case what we'll do is we will have you all reconvening, relaying the information, and then we'll finish up as
Hopefully
I know.
we make it back quick.
Yeah, I know Kat and Xander do need to finish soon.
I'm hoping that we make it back. Can we see how quickly we make it back?
I'd say now that you know the way, it only takes you around half an hour to wander back.
No, I won't do that. I was going to say, I can step of the wind back there to get there quickly to tell people while I wait for Charlie to catch up, or Anna to catch up.
You could, sure, if you really wanted to.
Time is of the essence. It's probably a good idea.
I'd say so.
So yeah, I'll do that.
Back as quick as possible.
Okay. So you are running back in the hopes that the auction isn't finished by the time you relay the information.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Let's just take a look.
Oh, I feel really... Oh.
Okay. So in that case, it probably takes you around 15 minutes to run. No. If you're using the Step of the Wind, you can use that 3 times now. Have you got 3 key points?
I've got 3 key points at the moment, yeah.
And it lasts 1 action, so...
You get 18 seconds of extra speed.
Yeah, it'll probably still take you around 14 minutes to run back if you were to use all the key points.
Fine.
So you peg it back and rush into the tavern, kind of ducking between everyone. You can hear the music. You know exactly where Taram is just by that alone. So you run over to where she is. At this point, Caliph is back, working tables as well. And
I am definitely working the tables nowhere near as far away from possible from the annoying bard and the crazy guy.
Music.
Okay. So, yeah.
In fact, as I walked in, there'd probably been a moment where I would have looked at my sword, looked at them, looked at my sword, and gone, still not worth it, and got changed and come back.
Okay. Sure. I will say that there is some visible tension with the party just generally staying as far away from each other as possible.
I haven't noticed that the barmaid's here. I'm lost in my music.
So I'll round the people up, and I suppose I'll be bringing them over to Taram, where Taram's playing.
Better had.
To allow them to know what's going on with that. Where's my notes? I've lost the elf's name. I don't mean Renan. I mean the other one. Rima. Yeah. That there appears to be something wrong with their child, and the fruit might be able to help. So perhaps we can do something to help them as they helped us earlier. And especially with the saving of Taram's life and all that.
Oh yeah.
A life for a life and all that. I'm quite a big believer in that.
Bardface almost died?
The bard fell off the city while we were defending it.
Jesus, and I wasn't there to save them for a 3rd time.
No, not this time. I'm sure there'll be other times you can save them. We'll take our turns.
Remember, you aren't there, Charlie.
Oh yeah. Just talking to myself like, yes. What memories. Oh dear, I forgot about that.
Okay, so what are you trying to suggest then, Corn? Are you trying to suggest everyone pool in their gold to...
Yeah, pretty much, saying that when I left the auction was at 40 gold pieces, but that they don't know if the fruit's going to help, but I think that we should at least try to help Rima, and none of us can afford it individually, but together we might be able to help them.
Why didn't we just give it to Rima to start with?
It wasn't ours to give away.
Why didn't Rima ask for it?
From what I understand, Rima doesn't think it'll help.
Oh. Then why are we buying it?
But maybe we should speak to Rima.
That sounds more sensible. I
but
don't
the
want to
auctions-
waste the only money I have on something that isn't going to do anything that I already had earlier.
Rima doesn't know.
But if Rima can't use it, I'm sure a fruit that can heal anything would be useful for us anyway.
For who, though? Who gets it?
I personally don't need it, but I'm here to help someone else, so it's not about the material goods.
But Rima doesn't want it.
Okay, so Taram doesn't want to help. What about the rest of you?
I'm in.
I feel like we're putting together our like pocket change.
Pretty much.
Let's get our pence together and see what we can buy. Oh dear.
Reforin?
How short are they?
Well, the auction was at 40 gold.
Well, how much have you got?
I've got 10.
I did tell you how much I had, didn't I? Before you left. Because I was saying about it.
Reforin is just sort of thinking to himself that if it took him half an hour to get there, 15 minutes to get back, and then it's going to take us half an hour to get there, there's no way in hell this auction's still going on.
But it's been going on since
doesn't
before we
bar
got there.
make a lot of sense.
I mean, yeah, like, I don't know, it does sound useful. It sounds like it could be used for nefarious gains, but there's no way in hell it's still going to be at 40 gold, and if we pull all of our money together, we've still only got like 50.
Well, it's at 40 gold after we got there, and that was well into the auction, so it doesn't seem to be climbing that highly.
But if that's well into the auction, then the auction's going to be over.
Might as well try and find out.
So what we're saying is we're not even going to try to help.
I don't know who you're trying to help. You've just run in and asked me for money. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, I don't actually know you. I don't really know you. I've asked everyone I know.
Oh man, this is gonna go well.
I don't want to give you my money because I don't think there's any way that it'll be any help at all. And I might need my money.
I'm with the bard, but for less selfish reasons.
So 2 out of the 3 have vetoed this idea.
I just don't think we're even going to be able to afford it if we pull all of our money and get back there. I think either the auction will be over, or it'll already be way out of our range.
And we definitely fail if we don't even try.
Well, that was
Do
fun.
I mean, if I'm not trying, I'm not really failing at anything.
I also agree with this. You can't fail if you don't try.
Just going to point out to Taran that Rima's one of the ones who saved his life. And if that's
And
not
I'm
even worth...
perfectly happy to go and have a word with Rima and see if there is anything we can actually do to help his wife. But if Rima, who is a very smart elf and knows what he's talking about and also knows what this affliction is, doesn't think that this will help her, then I don't want to waste my money on it.
Just shake my head dejectedly then.
And I've only known you for like 5 minutes, so
To be fair, yeah, I'm not annoyed at you, because obvious reasons. I don't know you. And you don't even know Rima.
I don't know this Rima person either.
So,
Should we say that we will leave it here so that you
Yeah, we'll
guys
see what
can
happens next
discuss
session.
it?
Yeah.
Discuss it in chat over the next week before working out what you're going to do for the start of the next session.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
By then, the auction will be over.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it already is.
I think by the
Okay,
time
but
we've
if
discussed
in
it,
game time in the next 10 seconds, i.e. next session, I suddenly changed my mind, I might have been poisoned or something.
Okay. Okay, in that case, let's draw it to a close with you guys
I'm
still
with you,
trying,
Corbin.
well,
I'm
debating
with you.
what to do.
Yeah. Hey, we'll see. We'll see.
We will see indeed. It'll be interesting to see
It'll be a
what
learning
happens there.
experience for all of us.
Anyway, a slightly different tone to the session compared to last time, I have to admit.
I like it. I like it.
Okay.
And we have a long rest after this auction. I feel like something bad's going to happen and we're all going to die horribly. So.
Hey. You're
No,
in the
'cause
middle of
we
the
all-
city right now.
Yeah,
And we just got attacked in the city.
I know.
We were. We were. No,
will you guys stop doing a Rory, please?
No, we always forget to have rests, and then we get screwed over. So
You do indeed.
we'll see what happens.
What I'm going to say is, considering this was a RP only session, I'm going to say 100 XP apiece, which puts you up, I believe,
1,100.
1,100, yeah. And you have now got some healing potions, and Caliph has now got a promise, which she hasn't actually told anyone else yet. So that's going to be an interesting discussion.
We're not all.
Well, no one seemed to be that interested in the reward.
Well,
But we didn't know. All you said is we got given these potions. That's all we know the reward was.
No one asked about it. We were like, we're going to the auction. I was like, well, we have this kind of reward stuff. And you guys say, yeah, we're going to the auction. Oh, okay.
But no, you said you gave him the box and got the potions. As far as we know, that was it.
we're pressing matters for time.
Also, I don't even know that yet. Nobody's told me about potions.
Alright. You're such a good party. You love to actually discuss matters, get to know
You see,
each other.
I came to the pub to talk to the party, and then half the party fucked off.
I know.
Yeah.
I tried to talk.
We had to go and find the rogue.
We have.
I tried to
time-sensitive
talk
things
to you.
do.
You're not very easy to talk to.
I answered all of your questions.
Well, I guess.
We come.
What do you want from me? My life story? Yes, I've known you 5 minutes. I will tell you everything about me.
Well,
Yeah, that's stuff.
Oh, boy.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Someone,
yeah,
please
that's
send help.
Tarum doesn't
You were
have a
meant
great
to
amount
be
of
the
interest
help.
in other people.
I know I'm the help.
the-
Yet the help needs more help.
I know, right? Anywho, on that note, as Kat and Xander do need to head off, we will end here tonight on 1,100 XP and a party debate. So, thank you
Our
all
party
for
never does
watching
anything
our-
but debate.
Well, you debate a lot out of character, less so in character.
I'd say that's
I know.
debatable.
Indeed.
I was just about to make the same joke.
I know, right?
High five, Cat. High five.
So yes,
Anyway.
thank you all for watching on stream as well. We will be back next session, and hopefully the party will have reached a consensus as to what they're going to do.
I wouldn't
And
bet on it.
you guys will start to actually uncover what's been happening that I've been trying to drop hints at, and none of you have really been taking the hints until now. So, yes.
Hints, we're players. We go after the shiny thing. Unless you want to drop the plot on us with like an anvil, we're never going to get it.
Yeah, you're right there.
Hello!
I'm not good at it.
Anywho, yes, that is a good point. I will next time I will make sure to find a Tarask and drop that on you then.
Oh, well, it doesn't. Let's not go that far.
I may have just done a Rory.
Anyway.
Anywho, yes, thank you all for watching. I hope you've had a good time, and thanks to everybody else as well.
Thank you.
Lucy.
Yes.
See you later.
See you next
Thank you, me. I are the best.